something about Isha Lingam.
I'm sorry?
You have an Isha Lingam at Coimbatore?
Oh,
Sorry, Dhyana Lingam.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. See, when we say the word linga means the form. Why it is referred to as the form is, if you today, modern cosmologists have taken pictures of various galaxies, and the core of every galaxy is always an ellipsoid. You know what's an ellipsoid? It's a three-dimensional ellipse. A perfect ellipsoid is what we are referring to as a linga. So, from unmanifest to manifest, when energy moves from unmanifest nature to manifesting itself into creation, the first form that it takes on is always an ellipsoid, which is a linga. And from our inner experience we know, if you raise your energies to the highest pitch, before the point of dissolution comes, the final form that it takes is also the form of a linga. You will see even in the calendar art, you will see, if you see Atma or whatever going, soul going, it'll be in the form of a linga, it's in the form of an egg. Do you notice that? Because worldwide, this has been the experience of the people. When the point of dissolution comes, it is in the form of a ellipsoid or a linga. So the first form and the final form are linga, so it's seen as a doorway to the beyond. It's a powerful instrument. Many people get offended when I say it's a tool. I say Dhyana Linga is a tool for your well-being. People feel very offended because they see it as God. Then I say, God is also a tool for your well-being, isn't it so? Would you want to go to your God who is no good for you? You want to go to God because He is a tool for your well-being, isn't it so? What's your prayer in the temple? Well-being, isn't it so? So, linga is a powerful tool. There's a whole science of creating linga. This particular linga has been created with including all the 7 dimensions of existence or creation. I cannot go into all the details of that. It's an energy form which has been established in a certain way, which is forever. It is a mercury-based lingam, where there is an energy form. This is a temple where there are no rituals, no prayer, no offering. It is always in total silence. You can just go sit there. People from all communities, from all over the world, people are coming. About close to 1 lakh of people are visiting the temple every month. But there is no offering, no ritual, no any kind of… that kind of religious activity. Just sit there. You may not know anything. You simply sit there. Don't have to have any faith or belief. Simply sit there with some openness in you. Even if you did not know anything about meditation, you will become meditative. That's why it's called Dhyana Linga, because it initiates a spiritual process within you. You don't need any instruction, you don't need any understanding. If you allow yourself to be influenced by it, you will become meditative by your own nature. So, it is a mass initiation of people into meditativeness without any instruction.
How do you make your mind listen to you?
I'm sorry?
How do you make…
How do you make your mind listen to you? Mind need not listen to you. What you call as my mind is just society's garbage bin. You have a basket. Wherever you go, whatever is happening around, it just gathers and gathers and gathers and gathers. That's your mind, isn't it? What kind of mind you have right now, if you look at it carefully, you will see it is very much the kind of mind which is known a certain type of exposure. If you were born in a remote part of Africa, you would be thinking and feeling differently, isn't it so? So, what your mind is, right now the content of your mind is just the data that you have fed it with your exposure to life. It is just that most of it went in unconsciously, a little bit of it consciously, but most of it went into you unconsciously. What you call as my mind right now is a complex amalgamation of all the impressions that you have taken through the 5 sense organs, every moment of your life. Isn't it so? Everything that you see, everything that you hear, everything that you smell, taste and touch is going into your mind and becoming a certain kind of content. Depending upon what type of input went in, accordingly you are developing certain tendencies in your mind. So a certain tendency, a certain bend that it takes, you are considering it as my personality. It is just a complex mess of things which were gathered unconsciously. It could have also been gathered consciously, but right now it has been gathered unconsciously. So mind need not listen to you. Mind is just a bank of information. If you were conscious, you would use it to the extent that it is necessary. You would use it to your benefit. If you're unconscious, you are using it to your detriment. Every damn thing in the world, it doesn't matter whether it's beautiful or ugly, if you know about it, if you know how to use it, it can be useful, isn't it? All the filthiest aspects in the world, if you know clearly what is what, it could enhance your life if you're consciously using it. Yes or no? Yes? If you consciously use it, everything could enhance your life. If you're unconscious, then everything can be a detriment to your life. So you don't listen to your mind, or I'm sorry, you want your mind to listen to you. Your mind is like a tape recorder which has just recorded everything. It was kept on, whether you were awake or asleep. This tape recorder was constantly kept on and it just recorded and recorded and recorded. It is always listening to you. Not only listening, very faithfully recording everything. Now the problem is, it is also playing what it has recorded without your permission. It's also simply playing whatever you recorded, whether you like it or you don't like it. At the wrong time, it is playing the wrong music. That is the thing. Now, this is like… Can we try an experiment? Please, how many of you could hold your right hand like this? Just try this and see. Oh, that's good. Can you do this? That's great. Can you do that? Oh, that's wonderful, thank you. So you have this much control over your body. You want your hand here, it goes there. Here, it goes there. Here, it goes there. Please try this with your mind. You want to put your mind here, it goes there. You want to put it there, it goes somewhere else. You want to put it there, God knows where. Now, with this kind of mind, where are you trying to go anyway? If you've gotten somewhere in your life, it must be an accident, isn't it? See, you got into your car, you want to go here, it goes there. Is it safe? Is it safe to be in this automobile? If it is going where you want it to go, only then it's worth getting into this vehicle, isn't it? You want to go here, it goes somewhere else. This is a dangerous vehicle. Please see, you're traveling such a dangerous vehicle. Your automobile, you'll get into it for a few hours a day. It is through the vehicle of your mind you're traveling the whole of your life, isn't it? And you're using an out-of-control vehicle and expecting to reach somewhere. It's not going to work. So if… suppose you're driving your car and it went out of control, what is the first thing you would like to do with it? You want to jump out? Who is this? It's not an airplane. Huh? It doesn't matter how. Your only thing is you want to somehow stop it. When it goes out of control, the only thing you want to do is, you want to stop it. Right now, that's exactly what you need to do with your mind. If you can consciously still your mind, even for a few moments in a day, suddenly you will find this mind will become a miracle. This mind is a miracle. Right now, being used in a disastrous way, this could have produced ecstasy for you. This could have been a ladder to the divine. But right now, this has become the source of misery. All the human misery that man is going through in this world, where is it manufactured? Chennai? Where is it where is the manufacturing unit?
Mind, just see, what should have been a miracle has become a misery. Not because there is anything wrong with your mind, simply because you are operating it unconsciously. Your car, it can make your life if you drive consciously and well, it can be lots of excitement, it's a good transport, everything, isn't it? Today you get into it in an unconscious condition and try to drive, your car will be your disaster, isn't it? Right now, mind has become a disaster for people because they're trying to drive it unconsciously, not because there's anything wrong with the mind. Without it, where would you be? So, your mind need not listen to you. It is just a complex accumulation of information. If you were conscious, you would know what to take, what not to take. Now you are unconscious, so it looks like it is throwing everything at you. It is not throwing everything. It is a garbage bin. Whatever is the topmost layer of garbage today, that kind of smell is coming. That's all your mind is. You've heard of a word called Buddha? Buddha? Probably if I say Buddha, you generally understand or you think in terms of Gautama the Buddha. Gautama is not the only Buddha, that's not his second name. He became a Buddha. There have been thousands of Buddhas and there still are. What Buddha means is, Bu means buddhi or the intellect. Dha means dada, one who is above. One who is above his intellect is a Buddha. One who is into his intellect is a non-stop suffering human being. That's where you are right now. Right now you may think, I am not suffering. Please see, your misery is right behind you. Right now situations are okay. If you turn back and see, right there it will be. You're watching the morning sunrise, everything is fantastic, but if you turn back and see, your anxieties and your pains and your sufferings will be right behind you all the time, isn't it so? Because once you're into the intellect, it's inevitable. This is the way it works. If you raise above this, you're completely free of it. If you're below it, also you don't know so much suffering. Animals do not know the kind of suffering that human beings know, isn't it? Yes? Stomach full, they're quite fine. Please see. Do you see this with the animals? Their stomach is full, everything seems to be fine. With you, it's not like that. Stomach empty, only one problem, food. Stomach full, 100 problems. Because your problem is not coming from the outside, your problem is coming from the inside, endlessly it's being manufactured. If you solve one problem, do you see 10 are waiting in the queue? Because it is not by solving problems you'll get there. There's only one problem, that's you. If you dissolve this one problem, then there'll be no other problem. Now, creating the necessary awareness where you are above the basic function of the mind. If you're a witness to your own mind, if you're above the process of the mind, there is no such thing as suffering, because all suffering has come of the mind, isn't it so? Once you're out of the mind, there can be no suffering. I know if somebody tells you you're out of the mind, out of your mind, you will get insulted. Don't. If somebody says you're out of your mind, they are giving you the highest compliment, they're telling you you're a Buddha, This is a misunderstanding. When you say out of the mind, you think madness. No, madness is always off the mind, isn't it so? If you're out of the mind, how can you be mad? You will be perfectly sane, absolutely sane. Where, see, anybody who is causing misery to himself, do you call this person a sane person or an insane person? Please see how much percentage of population is there. Almost the whole population is with you. A mind which could cause joy, which could cause ecstasy, is right now causing misery. That means knowingly or unknowingly you are causing misery to yourself. So anybody who causes misery to himself definitely is not in a right state of existence, isn't it so? No, no, do you know what happened in my life? It doesn't matter what happened in your life. Your misery is not coming because of something that happened in your life. Your misery is coming because you have no say in what your mind does. It is doing its own nonsense. That's why you're miserable, isn't it so? Yes? It has become like this because the function, the basic function of your mind is coming from certain identifications. You have identified yourself with many things that you are not. Once you identify yourself with things that you are not, your mind functions always from that identity. It cannot function any other way. Just see how many things are there which you have identified yourself with, which you are not. I'm not just talking about people and things around you. This very body, when you were a child, it was only so much, isn't it? Now it became this much. How? 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 The food that you ate. So what you call as my body is actually a heap of food. Isn't it? Not a pleasant way to describe you, but it is, isn't it? What you call as food is just a piece of earth, isn't it so? So right now, this is just a piece of earth right now prancing around like this. All this countless number of people who existed on this planet before you and me came here, where are they? They've all become topsoil, isn't it? Isn't it so? Yes? So this one also is going to become topsoil unless somebody buries you real deep. So what you call as my body is something that you slowly accumulated over a period of time. Yes? So this accumulation, just see how deeply you're identified with this. Can you think of yourself without it? You're so deeply identified. Anything that you accumulate, you get identified with it. Because you're identified with things that you are not, your mind is just going crazy. The wrong identification is what is making this. Let's say you ate wrong kinds of foods, now you're bloated with gas. You try to hold it, it doesn't work. If you eat the right kind of food, such a problem will not exist. Right now, you are wrongly identified with many things that you are not. So mind is just running crazy. Once you're identified with things that you're not, you try to hold your mind, it is not going to work. You try as hard as you want. It is not going to work means it's not going to work, there is no other way. If you disidentify yourself with everything that you are not, then you will see mind is simply a blank space. If you want, you can turn it on, otherwise it's off. If I close myself up for 5 or 6 days, I don't have a single thought on my mind for 5, 6 days. I don't think, I don't write, I don't read, I don't do anything, just being alive. Being alive, life is a sufficient phenomena, it's a tremendous phenomena by itself. It is not that you have to think and make it beautiful, no. The life is happening right now, this is the biggest phenomena, isn't it so? But right now, you are not enjoying the creation the way it is. You got your own petty creation in your head, you're busy with that. 90% of the time, you're only thinking about life, not living life. Is it so? Yes? And what nonsense can you think about life? Life can only be experienced, isn't it? What you think is all coming from the data that you have already gathered, is it so? Whatever data, how much ever you have gathered, it is still a very limited possibility, yes? From that limited possibility, you're trying to go on, think. It is not by thinking that you know life, it's by clarity of your vision that you know life. This will happen to you only if you're not identified with anything. Then, with everything you can have involvement, no entanglement. You're deeply involved with life, but you don't know any entanglement because you're not identified with anything. Now you see, your mind, if you want it, it comes on, otherwise it's off. That's how it should be, isn't it? If your body, you're sitting here right now, If your body starts doing its own things without your permission, your body starts jumping like this, would you be very ridiculous? Yes? Right now, your mind is doing that all the time, isn't it so? It is very ridiculous. Your only comfort is other people are not able to see it. But other people can see it. You think it's not seen? It is seen. Your mind… See, people are using this mind in different capacities, in different possibilities. Different people are using it in different ways. It once happened like this. An American tourist was driving through Egypt and his car broke down in a remote place. He thought he's lost. Then a villager was coming on a bullock cart. So, sign language, he requested. They said okay and tied the car to the bullock cart and towed it to the nearest town, got fixed, and the American was happy, he went away. He wanted to somehow reward the villager who helped him out of the, in a difficult situation. So he decided to give him a gift, and the gift was an airplane. He bought a small airplane and delivered it to the village. The villager looked at the airplane up and down and saw, okay, he's given me a high-tech bullock cart. And he yoked his bulls to the airplane, sat in the airplane, and the bulls, drawing the airplane around, and he was happy. And people were all looking up to him, he's got such a wonderful bullock cart. One day suddenly, by accident, he touched the starter button and the engine roared. Then he thought, oh, the American has sent me a different shaped car than the one that he was driving. So now the villagers started driving it around in the village and everywhere. People were amazed that this guy's got a car. And one day, just by chance, he did this with the joystick and it flew. Then he's got an airplane. Your mind is like this, it can be used on many different levels. It can be used in such a peak that it can become the source of your, a great ecstasy within you. Or you can use it to do mundane things, or you can use it to create misery for yourself. It's up to you. How would you use anything, whether for your well-being or for your detriment, just depends on how conscious you are at that moment, isn't it? Yes? If you are consciously living your life, would you cause misery to yourself? Never, isn't it? You're existing unconsciously. Large parts of you are still unconscious. So misery is possible. Because misery is possible, you're asking this question, when will my mind listen to me? Your mind should tell you things that you could not imagine, isn't it? Why should it listen to you? Because it is causing misery right now, it has become burdensome. The question comes up. Because still large parts of you are unconscious, that's why the problem. Not because of the mind, not because of the body, because we are handling it and driving them unconsciously. When you're driving something unconsciously, everything is a problem in your life, isn't it?